All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another deck profile. This time we're going to be looking at Dorbickmon version 2.5. Now it hasn't changed a lot since before. Only about 4 cards have been added to the deck, dragons and dinosaurs, as you may or may not know. So this is actually a deck that if you're coming back to the game, like after maybe a year, or sometime like that, Dorbick is still one that you would be familiar with, and only a few cards have changed for it. I will go ahead and begin with the eggs. As you may or may not know, we do try to draw as many cards as we want, and this Jijimon is going to help us do that. You swing with a Growlmon, Guilmon, or any of those cards, you get to draw when attacking. So pretty solid, still 4 of, nothing else is needed because you're going to be running 4 of the promo Guilmon. This card is probably going up in price because you also want to use this draw engine in things like Sakuyamon decks. But Dorbickmon would also be using this. You're trying to draw as many cards as possible, gather your pieces, so that you can put down your Dorbick. And of course, Guilmon, when attacking, triggers 1. So the combo together, Jijimon and Guilmon, draw 2 cards. Now, those are not the only Guilmons we run. We also run 4 of the EX4 Guilmon. This one is going to gain Rush if both players' trash have 20 or more cards. Early on, if you don't draw the promo Guilmon, you can still draw 1 card with this Guilmon. But later in the game, as cards get trashed, because Dorbickmon does end up having a lot of cards in the trash, this Guilmon may be able to rush and swing for game, surprising your opponent. So kind of versatile in this set. You definitely want to have the 4-offs so you can have the Guilmon for attacking early or later in the game when you have more cards in the trash. Next, we'd run 2 Guilmon X Antibody. These guys are actually also versatile. If you have a Guilmon already and let's say it swung and survived and you want to kill some kind of little floodgate or something, when Digivolving you can delete a 3000 DP just by going onto a regular Guilmon. That's pretty good. But then in addition to that, this is also counts as a Dark Dragon, meaning it counts towards Dorbick. So this one adds 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP-based deletion effects. So we can go ahead and use that on our on-play deletion with Dorbick, which we'll talk about later on. So kind of versatile, pretty solid. It can be used for Dorbick, or it can Digivolve onto your Digi-Egg. Still has Guilmon in the name, so you can draw the 1 with the GG, or you can put it on top of Guilmon to pop something small. Pretty solid, versatile card. Another card not as versatile, Guilmon X. This is on play when Digivolving reveals 3 and it adds 1 Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, as well as an X antibody. There are Growlmons and Gallantmon in this, 1 Gallantmon in this deck. So you may want to try to pick that up. But this is also trying to be a versatile card, right? So you also get that when one of your opponent's Digimon are deleted, you gain 1 memory. So if you do use this as a cross, you would gain 1 memory if you pop something, which is really nice to have. Next come the cards that you would not want to Digivolve into the Digimon, but you can if you need to. This is Agumon Dinosaur from the start of deck 7. Adds 2000 DP when you attack. One of the things about Dorbick is that its DP is not that high. You definitely want to try to get its DP as high as possible. And this Agumon can help do that, as well as be a rookie that you can Digivolve into if you happen to not draw any of the Guilmons. That does happen sometimes, so having additional rookies you can go into helps. Now we're going to come to a point where we're going to have just a bunch of different named cards. And the reason for that is because Dorbick wants different names, not different cards. So if you have 1 Growlmon from one set and a different Growlmon from a different set, they can't be put under Brickmon together. They have to be different named Digimon. So here we go. First, we have a regular Growlmon. When Digivolve and delete a 4000 DP or less. If it doesn't delete, you get a boost of 3000. Pretty okay. But of course, we're interested in the heritable for Dorbick. While you have 0 or less memory, add 2000 to this Digimon's DP-based deletion effect. So if you have 3 and you use 3 to bring out the Dorbick, this Growlmon lets you pop something even stronger than you had. We have Koreidramon. This one has jamming, so it can get a nice cheap swing in if you need it to by jamming into it. It also has an inheritable plus 2000 DP. Like I mentioned, you definitely want to have that 2000 DP. You don't get to use this your turn situation, so we can just not worry about that. But you would have to Digivolve for 3 if you want to use it. So you'd rather just use this from your hand with the Dorbick. Next, Black Growlmon. This is actually kind of important. When Digivolve and you trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks, then you may return a Guilmon or Growlmon or Gallantmon. This could be key in that you may need to bring back a Guilmon or the Gallantmon back to your hand in order to finish off the game. Maybe you really need that combo to happen. And it also counts as a Dorbick, in which on deletion you may return a Guilmon or Growlmon or Gallantmon. So this is intended to cycle back later in the game. So hopefully you don't have to use this early, but if you hold on to it, you may be able to catch your opponent by surprise when digivolving. We have a regular Growlmon started at X7. When you delete an opponent's Digimon, you gain 1 memory. That can be in any way. So Growlmon name. So now we have 2 Growlmons, but nothing crazy. Growlmon X, inheritable at 1,000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP, making it so that your Dorbrick can kill bigger things, just like we mentioned earlier. We have Tyrannomon, a dinosaur. This one gets to play off security if your opponent checks it, which is pretty nice. And then at the start of your main phase, or when digivolving, this Digimon gains plus 3,000 until the end of your opponent's turn, buffing you up, making you a little bit more difficult to deal with. And then, of course, on your turn, plus 2,000. So we have more of that DP increase that we're talking about. Next, XVmon, a mythical dragon, inheritable plus 2,000. And again, that situation is taking place. And then we have a on play, and when digivolving, this is really nice because it digivolves for 2, so this is not crazy strong. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less, and then the DNA stuff you don't really care about. So you could pop something small with this XVmon by playing it or digivolving it for just a 2, and then you have inheritable plus 2k, and of course it's a different name. Burning Greymon. There are some red tamers, and this card does count as a dragon. And you have DP boost, pretty nice card to have, and a different name, of course. It does have raid. If you get it on the field, it can attack your opponent's smaller Digimon, and then when attacking, it can digivolve into a hybrid reduced by 1. There is another one, another Burning Gray, a different Burning Gray, which does digivolve for 1, that also kills 4,000 or DP or less. So we run both. They're both dragons. Of course, you can't put both under the same stack, but they work kind of nicely to catch your opponent off guard if you have your red hybrid, your red tamer out, and you want to get a combo out. Greymon, starter deck from the first one, security check plus 1. That's just too good. Again, they're the same name, of course. You can't put both in the same stack, but if you have one security check plus 1, you're one step closer to winning the game. This Greymon, I run 2 of, but you may need to just run 1, but that's okay. Either way, you have check plus 1, which other cards have. And having all these check plus 1s is the reason which Tai has been removed from the deck list, because you no longer need to get as many check plus 1s just off the tamers. You need a DP now. We have Vettel Gamamon. If you have a Guilmon out and you don't have a Hero, which is the tamer that we run, this card will play it for you if you don't have one, right? It also has Raid, Digivolves for 2, pretty nice, and the Dragon, of course, will count towards Dorbick. On to the level 5s, Jasarichmon. Digivolves for 3 if you have a level 4 red, which plenty of them are. It can on-play de-Digivolve, but more important than that, when this Digimon has an on-play effect, it gains check plus 1. Dorbick has an on-play effect, meaning you get the check plus 1, and this counts as a dragon. That's its main reason for being there. It's a check plus 1 card. Next, Lavagarita. This card pops, delete on play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 or less. Then you may play a Hina. We don't do that. On the inheritable, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, if this Digimon has an on-play, gain 1 memory. Just like Jasarachi, you can get the check plus 1 if you have an on-play. You can get plus 1 memory if you kill something. It's a pretty solid card in the deck. One that could be key, we have one of Majiramon. We don't care about the when Digivolve, and you can't Digivolve into it. It is a dragon, and it's inheritable. If your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards in play, unsuspend. Potentially a second attack with your Dorbick if you opponent has no Digimon with sources under it. You could potentially swing and check multiple cards, then swing again, maybe more checks, or swing for game even. Voltramon, different name, dragon, check plus 1. That's all you need to really know about this. It can go under your stack, one of. We have Groundramon, one of the newer cards in the set. The cool thing is that it has an on-play effect, or when Digivolving, plays for 7. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and one of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. That's a pretty solid ability to have, to keep something from unsuspending. And then Groundramon itself, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top security. Sometimes Dorbick needs to swing into a Digimon. It is nice to be able to trash something, and of course you have a different name, Dragon. Wingdramon, also from the new set. On play, when Digimon delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. So a small deletion effect. It is kind of more expensive with Digivolves for 4, but you do get check +1, another card that gets you check +1. That's another card gets closer. We run 2 Master Tyrannomons. Inheritable is check +1. Really good ability. Dinosaur card. Fortitude, which you may or may not need. Could. On playing with Digivolving, you may suspend one Digimon. Then if the Digimon is suspended, delete one of your opponent's 8,000 or less. You could hard play this to kill something 8,000 DP or less, almost like an option. Have a body out there. Obviously, Fortitude wouldn't work towards that. And then you have check +1 inheritable off your dinosaur. So multiple cards with check +1s in this list. And then, of course, you need to run the 4 of Dorbick, the main daddy guy. Digicrosses, dinosaurs, and dragons. And then on play, deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. And then for each dragon or dinosaur under it, you get plus 2,000. So all of these guys will add towards that. 12K, again, you need to get that DP boost sometimes. There are many cards that are 15, 14K in security that you could run into. So a lot of the DP boost, and of course the check +1s are going to help you get closer to winning. It has Rush, so when you play it for 3 with your multiple dinosaurs, you are going to immediately swing and try to go for the game at that point. Of course, these guys do get popped, and they have a lot of resources under them sometimes. Sometimes you're playing cards without drawing. But once enough cards are in the trash, this Gallantmon becomes the huge key. It reduces its play cost by 2 for every 5 cards in both players' trash. So late game, this Gallantmon can make a big difference. It has Rush, it can attack right away. And then on play when Digivolving, as well as when attacking, not once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. If no opponent's Digimon was deleted by this effect, then you delete 13K or more. Huge card in this deck. Could be a difference maker, and in fact, when I play this deck, it has been a huge difference maker. We run 1 Gallantmon Crimson mode. Sometimes you just need that. Also works with cards being in the trash and deletes things on the board up to 15K total. Then for every 10 cards in both players' trash, you get to trash the top card of your opponent's security. So this could potentially destroy the game in one fell attack, right? With enough cards in the trash. 3 heroes, you just really need to get a hero out there. So hopefully as you're drawing your cards, you're going to get your hero and boost your Dorbick with 2,000 DP by suspending. And then, of course, Memory Setter is really nice. And your Gammamon can play this card for free when Digivolving. Really nice thing to have. Then come the cards that are just standard for this type of deck. 3 Fireballs. You can delete some small thing, maybe something that keeps you from reducing the memory cost of your Dorbick. You could kill something with that, or you can use the alternative effect. If your opponent doesn't have 2,000 DP or less, 3,000, sorry. You draw 2. Draw 2, of course, gets you more cards in your hand. You have more that you can put under your Dorbick. Sometimes you're looking for Dorbick, and Red Memory Boost, which we have 3 of here, can help you look for it. So if you have a bunch of cards in your hand but no Dorbick, Red Memory Boost picks up 4 cards. You can look at them and pick up Dorbick and get it on your hand that way, and then you have memory for later. Really nice card to have here. And then we run 2 Heroes of the Skies, a card that, unlike Fireball, you can just play it for 2 and draw 2. That's really the only option you have, without the effect of Fireball that having to delete before you can draw 2. So if your opponent does have a small Digimon, Fireball has to kill it, and you don't get to draw 2. Whereas Heroes of the Sky, you do get to draw 2 no matter what. So sometimes you don't want to have that option. Sometimes you just want to draw the 2. So Heroes works really well. And so that's the list. Again, Dorbick is a classic deck, and only 1, 2, 3, 4 new cards added to it. All of them being dragons, which helps this out. Check +1, of course, and DP boost, and a trash when fighting on something. The rest of the list is now a little bit dated, but nothing crazy. Dorbick still plays classically and can catch your opponent off centered or off balance, and you can win the game that way, no problem. All right, so we'll be doing some more deck profiles later on. You let me know how you like it, or if you would change anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe and like. Peace.